Well, hello, and happy Thursday. How's it going out there? All right, so Facebook is a beast with a potential audience of over 3 billion users. How do you leverage those users? How do you leverage Facebook to really create an effective strategy for your brand and your business? Well, that, my friend, is what we're going to talk about today. Hello and welcome. I'm Bridget Brady. I am the founder and CEO of Amp Up My Biz, a full service online marketing agency. I am the creator of the social media transformation program, the Social Media Success Academy, and I am the author of the #1 international best-selling book, Jobs to Jammies. All right, Facebook. So we have your profile. We have your business page, I hope. We have your Facebook group, maybe. We have Facebook events. We have Facebook stories. So how do we effectively put all of this together into a strategy that will actually help you build your business, right? Attract your ideal clients, build your know, love, trust factor, and build your business. So the first thing I'm going to say, hey, Jenny, if you're here live, please say hello. It's so good to see you. All right. So the first thing I'm going to say is I want you to start with the end in mind and get really specific about what you're up to on social media as a whole and on Facebook as well. So I get build your business, right? So I talk to clients and students all the time and I'm like, all right, let's talk about your goals. And one of the first thing they say is, well, I want to make more money. Fantastic. We all do. Fantastic. I want to build my business. Absolutely. What specifically are you using, and social media as a whole, but we're talking really about Facebook today. Today, for the next 8 minutes, it's our social media 10-minute training. For the next 8 minutes, we're going to talk specifically about Facebook. So what I want you to dive deeper before you put out a single post, before you create pages and groups and you're creating content and going live. What are your specific goals on Facebook? Are you driving people to events? Are you filling events? Are you driving people to consultation calls? Are you building a huge and amazing community in a group where you're not only going to empower people and teach them and train them and love them, but also do business with those people, right? So the first thing I want you to think about before you do anything else is what specifically are you doing on Facebook? That's number one. Then number two, I want you to think about all the different pieces of the puzzle. So one of the biggest questions that I get is, should I be posting on my profile or my page? So let's start with what the difference of those two are. So your profile, your personal profile, is where you really should, I don't like to shit on us, but that's just your personal profile where you're doing your personal life. That's for pictures of your kids and your dogs and your wine tasting and your honeymoon and your vacations. And your sips of wine, right? That's where you're doing your personal life. Then your business page, and I highly recommend, like 1000%, a business page. If you are a business, right? If it's not just a little hobby, if you're actually trying to grow a business, grow a company, you must have a business page for many reasons. One, officially, you're not supposed to do any business on your personal profile. Now, of course, if you're an entrepreneur, right? Your business is in your heart and in your soul. So you will very likely mention your business on your personal profile from time to time. But officially, Facebook says, look, business belongs on business pages. So one, you don't want to get a little slap on the wrist from Facebook. Two, you can only have 5,000 friends on your personal profile. Do you not want way more than 5,000 fans, followers, subscribers to your business page? Yes, you do. And then three, you cannot do any advertising, any paid advertising on your personal profile. So even if you just want to boost a post, if you want to do the simplest little things that Facebook offers you, boost a post, run an ad, you must have a Facebook business page. So run, don't walk if you don't have one yet, and create a business page. All right, next on our hit parade is a Facebook group. I just had a lovely conversation with one of our clients this week about creating a Facebook group and how we're going to invite people from her page into her group and cultivate the relationships inside of a group. So this is what I'm going to say about Facebook group and Facebook strategy. If you are going to build the beast, you must feed the beast. Again, specificity. What are you doing with that group? Are you building a community for people to network in? Are you building a community to have a private, there's another doctor that I work with, and inside of his group, people get pretty personal about their medical situations. They are much more willing, and this is true, people are much more willing to share personal tidbits about their life, about their business, about their issues inside of a private group than publicly to Facebook, right? So are you building a community? Are you teaching classes? I do a ton of education in my Facebook group. As a matter of fact, I have a masterclass coming up next week. The link is in this post. That happens inside my private Facebook group. So it's right, it's a little bit, it's gated content, right? So what are you doing inside of your group? Because if you have some really clear goals about what this group is for, what you're going to do inside your group, a Facebook group is a fantastic strategy. It is a great way to bring people in, grow your know, love, trust, right? Have an actual community where people know this is our private community with Bridget. This is the private community with you, right? All right, then now we're talking about posts and stories. So Facebook stories, very similar to Instagram stories. They live for 24 hours. They live in your Facebook stories, and then obviously your Facebook posts, your memes, your videos, your lifestyle photos, your tips, your tricks, all your lead magnets, all the things. So next on the hit parade, I'm going to say, I want you to utilize as many of those things that make sense for you. Oh, and Facebook events. How can I forget? Right? Facebook events are a great way to say, hey, I have this masterclass coming up next week. Hey, everybody, would you like to come to my masterclass? Right? And then people say, yes, I'm interested. And then Facebook, thanks, Facebook. Facebook will remind people of that event. If they say, yes, I'd like to come. Yes, I'm interested. Facebook will remind people that that event is coming up. So, in an ideal world, if Facebook is one of your chosen platforms, just yesterday, we talked about what platforms are you going to focus on for your overall social media strategy. If Facebook is one of your platforms, then I recommend using all the pieces of that puzzle for a couple of reasons. One, they're pretty cool features, right? It's some pretty cool stuff. You get to get personal. You get to have your business page. You can have a community. You let people know about events, posts, stories, etc., etc. Hey, Delgado. I'll answer your question in a moment. So if you're using Facebook, I say use all the pieces of the puzzle. One, they're cool. And two, the Facebook algorithm, right? An algorithm is just the code that works in the back end. That's just the computer saying thumbs up, thumbs down. We like this. We don't like this. We're going to show this content. We're not going to show this content. We're going to show this content to tons of people. We're going to show this content to 3 people. So the more of the Facebook features that you're using on a regular basis, the Facebook algorithm loves that. The Facebook algorithm's like, oh, yes, thank you for using all of our features. We're going to continue to show your content to more and more people. All right, so I'm going to do a quick recap for those of you who just joined me. Thanks for being here. And then I will I'll look at some questions over here. So one is, get your goal in mind first. What specifically are you up to? Right? Not, and I love build your business, but not just build my business. Of course, you want to build your business. What specifically are you working on your social, in your Facebook? Get very specific and very clear about that goal. And then two, decide which pieces of the Facebook puzzle you're going to use to achieve that goal. I vote all of those pieces. And then three, let's talk about this more. Number three, I am hosting a free masterclass next week, and I am going to answer questions, so don't go anywhere. But while we're here, I am hosting a free masterclass next week that dives deep into social media marketing, that is going to overcome your overwhelm, cut through all the confusion, give you really specific strategies, steps, tips, and tricks that you can implement immediately in your social media to, yes, build your business, but also start addressing some of your really specific goals that you have for your business and the goals that you have on social media. So you can register for that at masterclass.ampupmybiz.com, masterclass.ampupmybiz.com. It's going to be amazing. So I hope you join me. And let me get to a couple of these questions. All right. Okay, Delgado, Delgado. I want to build an audience to drive people to my website, not up yet. Yes, driving traffic to your website. Amazing. Hiccup in the web provider chosen. Waiting on a refund to choose another. Fair enough. To sell my products, focus on inspiring and encouraging each other. You're terrified of social media. Okay, so one is, yes, for sure, get your website up. Social media and your website are two little peas in a pod, right? They're the chocolate to your peanut butter. It's the peanut butter to your chocolate. So it's interesting the way they work together. Having a website without social media is like putting up a beautiful billboard in the middle of the desert that no one will ever find, right? Typically. And having a bunch of amazing social media without a website, without a place to drive traffic to. Dee, I hope you join us next week in our masterclass. We are going to dive deep into these topics. Without having a place to drive your traffic to, I don't know, is like is like keeping your website in a closet, like also like locked in a closet where how are people going to get there? Like they have to work together. The magic of online marketing is that, and I promise we're going to cover this a lot next week. Social media marketing, online marketing is holistic. It's not just social. It's not just your website. It's not just email marketing. It's not just SEO, right? It's holistic. And social media is a huge piece of that puzzle. So I'm going to say to you, don't be terrified of it. But I am going to say to you, learn it. I'm going to say to you that one of the biggest mistakes that I see today in social media marketing is spaghetti versus strategy. Again, we're going to talk all about this next week, but people just throwing stuff up on social media and then hoping that business will come from it. That does not work. It just doesn't work. But having a really specific strategy totally works. Okay, so we're going to dive into that. But the answer is yes, for sure, get your website up. And please don't be afraid of social media. Come to my masterclass. I will help you. I promise. And yes, driving traffic is a fantastic strategy, is a fantastic goal. And there's a very specific way to do that doesn't just annoy your audience with go to my website, go to my website, go to my website. All right. Jenny, do I believe in ATM? Adding a tag message. So Jenny, I think you mean tagging others in your post, in your strategy. So if that's what you mean, then appropriately 1,000%, 1,000%. If you can appropriately tag other businesses, tag other people in your posts, what happens is you get to borrow a little bit of their social media juice. And they get to borrow a little bit of your social media juice, but this is not, and that's why I'm hoping I understand your question. This is not just randomly tagging people in your posts. No. No good. Okay. Add tag message. Jenny, I adore, I adore you. I'm not, ask that question again in the masterclass next week. I know you will be there because I want to make sure that I'm answering it correctly, but I also want to honor our 10-minute training, which is now 15 minutes. Tagging into your community. Yes. But Jenny, Jenny, it just depends, right? If someone, so for example, if someone has registered, Jenny, this is a great example. If someone has registered for a class you're teaching, or they have, they've shown interest, they've joined your list, they've registered for a class, then 1,000% message them, tag them, say, hey, the event you registered for is happening. Come on in, right? 1,000%. But just tag, or sending appropriate messages to people, right? People who already like your page, people who already are building the know, love, trust factor with you, saying, hey, I'm building this private Facebook group. Come join us. But always tune into people's favorite radio station, WIIFM. What's in it for me? Let them know what they're going to get out of becoming part of the community. But yes, 1,000%. All right. I hope that answers your question. All right, my friends, that's it for today. I love your questions. I love that you were here. Again, please join us next week, masterclass.ampupmybiz.com. We are going to have so much time answering tons of questions, diving deep into the topic of social media. But thank you for being here. Great to see you. I will see you again very soon. Bye-bye, everybody.